Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 5th of November. Maldives Parliament impeaches Vice President Ahmed Adeeb. Rescue operation continues after factory collapsed in Pakistan, killing over 20. And India's eastern Bihar goes to the final phase of provincial polls. And now for all the details. Rescue workers are looking for survivors after a factory collapsed in the industrial area of Lahore in Pakistan on Wednesday, killing over 20 people. At least 150 people are feared trapped under the debris.
A major rescue operation is underway as scores of victims remain trapped under the rubble of the factory. According to authorities, 75 injured people have been rescued so far from the site. The under-construction three-story building located in the industrial area of Lahore collapsed late on Wednesday. A team of engineers and experts have been called in to take part in the rescue operation.
ऑपरेशन अभी चल रहा है। देखें अभी ये टाइम लगेगा, काफ़ी बड़ा स्ट्रक्चर है और रेस्क्यू के लिए जो चीज़ें चाहिए, कटर्स भी लेकर आए हुए हैं, यहाँ पे डंपर्स भी हैं, क्रेन्स भी हैं, बुलडोज़र्स भी हैं। दुआ करें कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को रेस्क्यू करने में कामयाब हो जाएं और कोशिश पूरी जारी है।
According to local media, the factory had been declared dangerous, but employees resided in the building as they continued the construction work. Most of the rescued were younger than 20 years and one of them is a woman.
Meanwhile, India's eastern Bihar went to polling in the fifth and final phase of the provincial election on Thursday. The polls recorded 56% turnout. Bihar has turned into a battleground for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar-led Grand Alliance.
The ultimate phase of Bihar provincial elections saw huge voter turnout. 827 candidates across 57 constituencies in 9 districts were in fray for the contest. Many voters said that they voted for development of the province.
हमारा जो देश है क्या कहते हैं तरक्की करे है कि नहीं, इस वजह से जो अच्छे हैं जो हमारे देश के लिए कुछ अच्छा कर सके उसके लिए हम लोग वोट डालने के लिए आए हुए हैं यहाँ पे।
सरकार होना चाहिए अच्छा सुशासन जिससे चले, सबको आदर सत्कार मिले, इसी के लिए हम लोग वोट डालना है, आदर्श के लिए वोट डालना है, जिसके आदर्श बन जाए, सब में योग्यता आ जाए।
The five-phase polling witnessed a battle between Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP and the Grand Alliance of regional parties including the Janata Dal United, Rashtriya Janata Dal and Congress. The election is being widely seen as a litmus test for the BJP, which is aiming to consolidate its position across the country. The results will be declared on November 8.
Moving on to news from Myanmar. Myanmar opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi has said that she will be above the president if her party wins in the upcoming parliamentary election. Her party, the National League for Democracy or NLD, has emerged as favourite in the political battle.
Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi said she will be above the president if her National League for Democracy party wins the November 8 vote, defying a constitutional ban on her on becoming the head of the state.
I have not said we're going to win. I have said if we are win and the NLD forms a government, I will be above the president. It's a very simple message.
Under the Myanmar constitution, Suu Kyi is barred from presidency since she is married to a foreigner and her children are not Myanmar citizens. But support is pouring in for Suu Kyi in the run-up to the polls. Shuman, a former ruling party leader, has also pledged support to the NLD. Many are hopeful that Suu Kyi will bring positive change in the country. Suu is taking on President Thein Sein's Union Solidarity and Development Party or USDP in what is being touted as the most credible election in Myanmar in decades.
India has expressed concern over the rising violence and ethnic discrimination in Nepal at the United Nations in Geneva. The stand was taken after 45 people were killed from the minority Madhesi community in neighboring Nepal, who have been demanding equal rights in the constitution.
India has raised the issue of rising violence, extrajudicial killings and instability in Nepal at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. Nepal has been going through a political turmoil over the implementation of the new constitution, which the minority Madhesi community claims is marginalizing them. Referring to the ongoing protest in Nepal, India reiterated that Nepal should consolidate its constitution by accommodating all sections of society. We note the concerns expressed by UN human rights bodies, UN country team and Nepal's own Human Rights Commission over continuing incidents of violence, extrajudicial killings and ethnic discrimination in the country. Problems facing Nepal are political in nature and cannot be resolved through force or a security-based approach. India's Deputy Permanent Representative B.N. Reddy said during the UNHRC meeting. Nepal has blamed India for supporting the Indian origin Madhesis protest in the country and accused New Delhi of causing fuel and commodity crisis in the landlocked country.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh. The Islamic State has claimed the responsibility of an attack at a police checkpost in Bangladesh capital Dhaka, in which a police constable was killed and another was critically injured, a US intelligence agency has claimed. The motive behind the attack is unclear, say police. Earlier, the Islamic State had also claimed responsibility of killing 2 foreign nationals in order to create anarchy in the country. The government had, however, asserted there was no organizational existence of Islamic State in Bangladesh. Political parties in Pakistan-administered Kashmir have often indulged in blame game over the lack of development in the region. Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, which is the main opposition party in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, says it has no expectations from the ruling Pakistan People's Party government, which is soon going to present its last budget.
The Pakistan People's Party government has been in power in Pakistan-administered Kashmir for more than 4 years. But locals are disappointed as they claim the government has shown little political will to improve the falling infrastructure of the region. Recently, former Prime Minister and leader of the main opposition, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, Raja Farooq Haider, also took on the local government, which is going to present its last budget for the region.
अब 4.5 साल तकरीबन जो है इस हुकूमत को हो चुके हैं, ये अपने 5वां बजट इसका आखिरी जो ये पेश कर रही है। मेरे नज़र में जो हुकूमत की जो कोताही है, कमी है, एक तो यह कि इदारों को उन्होंने मजबूत नहीं किया, इदारों को कमज़ोर किया। वो ख्वाह पुलिस सर्विस कमीशन का इदारा हो, एहतसाब का इदारा हो, मतलब अपना ये लोकल बॉडीज़ का हो, उसकी तरफ ही गए ही नहीं। गर्ज़े को और सर्विसेज के अंदर जो ढांचा था उसको, और ये इस तरह के इदारे इन्होंने जो है कमज़ोर किए जो किसी भी मुल्क की तरक्की के ज़ामन होते हैं। आप डेवलपमेंट का जो पैसा खर्च करते हैं, सारी बात का अगर आपकी सर्विसेज ठीक नहीं है, आपका सिस्टम ठीक नहीं है, तो वो सारी बातें बेकार चली जाएंगी।
Haider also leveled serious corruption allegations against the government, saying that influential and undeserving people are holding important positions.
हमारे यहाँ जो भर्तियाँ सरकारी, जिसके बारे में हर जगह से आवाज़ें उठती हैं, सिर्फ मैं नहीं कहता, मीडिया में आता है, लोग बयान देते हैं, सारी बात होती है, असम्बली के अंदर डिस्कशंस होती रही हैं, हुकूमत के पास कोई जवाब आया नहीं। उसके अंदर उसमें एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट हो, उसमें फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट, उसमें हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट हो, उसमें पुलिस के मामले में हमने 2-3 बार रुकवाया कि इनको NTSC किया जाए। यानी जो आपका देखिए, बात यह है कि जो अगर लायक आदमी बाहर बैठा हुआ और नलायक अंदर चला गया तो मुल्क तरक्की कैसे करेगा।
Locals in Pakistan-administered Kashmir say that successive local governments who initially make tall promises of bringing development in the region later indulge in blame game while brushing aside their own failures. The region, which is still reeling under poverty and illiteracy, was illegally annexed by Pakistan 6 decades ago.
Chinese Vice President Li Huanchao, who is on a 5-day visit to India, is set to hold bilateral talks with India's top leadership to boost strategic partnership between the two countries. Huanchao on Thursday visited India's eastern province, West Bengal, where he met provincial chief Mamata Banerjee. Li Huanchao is the second senior-most leader who visited India after Bharatiya Janata Party-led National Democratic Alliance government came into power. Earlier in September 2014, Chinese President Xi Jinping had visited India on a 3-day tour. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella on Thursday talked of empowering people vis-a-vis computing while addressing the Indian audience. He was on a day's trip to India to promote digitization. A report.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said there will be more computing in the coming decades. He was addressing industry leaders, entrepreneurs and developers at the Microsoft's Future Unleashed event in India's western Mumbai.
Technology has changed. Today, we get to realize this mission in what I describe as a mobile-first, cloud-first world. Because when you think about the next 5 years, next 10 years, what's going to be true is there is going to be more computing in our lives. There's going to be computers that we're going to be wearing in our wrists. There's going to be computers that we'll have on our eyes. And what is going to be key will be the mobility of our human experience across all of that computing fabric.
The tech giant said Microsoft has various programs for developers in store.
For us at Microsoft, it is about empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. That's the sense of purpose that we have.
Nadella is one of the top business executives of Indian origin in the US. He was appointed as the CEO of Microsoft early this year, succeeding Steve Ballmer. Before becoming the CEO, he served as Executive Vice President of Microsoft's Cloud and Enterprise Group, responsible for building and running the company's computing platforms, developer tools, and cloud computing services.
The Maldivian Parliament on Thursday impeached Vice President Ahmed Adeeb, who has been accused of plotting against President Abdullah Yameen. Adeeb was arrested last month for his alleged involvement in the blast on President Yameen's speedboat while returning from Hajj. The impeachment comes a day after the Maldivian government declared a month-long state of emergency, a move that has been criticized by international communities, including the Amnesty, the US and the UK. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Maldives Parliament impeaches Vice President Ahmed Adeeb. Rescue operation continues after factory collapsed in Pakistan, killing over 20. And India's eastern Bihar goes to the final phase of provincial polls. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.